All right, yesterday you guys were solving equations where you had variables on both sides, which is a tricky thing to try to solve. But one thing you didn't have in yesterday's equations were fractions. So today's assignment is about learning how to solve equations when there's fractions in them. And right now, this equation, 1/3 of x equals 6. That means 1/3 of something is 6. Um, by the way, this right here, x over 3 equals 6. These are the exact same equations. Basically, you could think about this like right here, that 1/3 times x. If you were to do that multiplication, would be 1/3 times x over 1. And then you go across the top to get x and across the bottom to get 3. So just to show you that these two equations are exactly the same thing, and you might need to know how to solve them, whether they're written in one way or the other. Basically, the idea comes from doing the inverse operation. So I'm actually going to focus on the one on the right first. Right here, x is not alone. X is being divided by 3. So I'm trying to figure out, how can I cancel out that 3? What do I have to do to remove the 3? And I'm going to do the inverse operation. The inverse operation of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And so these 3's, 3 divided by 3 just gives me 1, and I end up with x on this side. And then this 6 times 3 is where I get 18, which means x is 18. If you think back to the original equation, if I would have plugged in 18 in there for x, say 18 divided by 3 is 6, which is true. Now, shifting over to the left side, yes, it looks a little different, but I already told you it's the exact same equation. Now, all I did on this right side was I multiplied both sides by 3. Well, that's the same thing I'm going to do here. Now, some people like to write the 3 as a fraction, so you write it like 3 over 1. And then what you should notice here is you have inverses, multiplicative inverses, 3 over 1 and 1 over 3. When those fractions are exactly flipped, what happens is it just gives me a 1. So this is 1x, or just x. And then over on this side, 6 times 3 over 1, or 6 times 3 is 18. So either way, I'm getting 18 for this answer.